Okay, no problem.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Once again, this is Manisha Bhati from Dream Hunt India, helping everyone out there. The entire team of Dream Hunt India is behind creating the kind of strength and hope into the individual's mindset. The very tough part, as you know right now, that we are all going through is that there are n number of rumors, there are n number of death cases, there is n number of negativity that is anywhere around our house, inside our house, wherever you go. So as you know, like, we are actually trying to bring out those real struggle of those real people who didn't give up and who fought back, be it any challenges or obstacles came their way. Of course, we everyone are very proud of them, but there are certain stories which are unheard. There are certain challenges which will definitely inspire us and help us in understanding that we are not alone in this. There are lakhs of people, unfortunate families who are losing their loved ones. There are lakhs of people who are losing their jobs. There are crores of people, like, many people are affected with this. The numbers are just crazy. So without, paying too much focus on the numbers or whatever is happening around us, what we can right now do is focus rather on our mindset. And that is where Dream Hunt India has started this initiative of creating hope and strength into the minds and lives of the individual. As you know, we all had started 3 to 4 years back, where I and my partner Sridhar, we had worked towards career counseling, we worked towards corporate etiquettes, we worked towards so many companies out there to work on their skill sets, to help them. How it is so important for us to be confident enough talking in front of the people, be it the managers, leaders out there. Slowly and gradually, we also touched up the women upliftment programs wherein we felt and we are very sure that women deserves to be mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially independent. And that is where we have got the strength to why not start this with this initiative, which people need it and is the need of the hour. So our very next candidate, which we are very proud of, is that Mr. Gaurav Dave, who's going to share his journey. How did it start? How was his journey before COVID? How was his journey after COVID? And what are his advices for us out there? So we welcome you, Gaurav, onto our platform. First of all, thank you so much for giving us your time. We understand you are working in AXA Insurance Company, a very big company which is specializing in insurance. On the other side, let me tell all the viewers that Gaurav is a specialist claim manager into his company. So we are very proud of him today to invite him. On the other side, we are just so much privileged and grateful that he has taken out his time to share his journey. Because, guys, as you all know, nobody has that much time to actually come out from their comfort zone or come out from their professional life and share their journey. So, Gaurav's sole purpose to come onto this platform is to share his journey, to motivate people, to inspire people in his own way, and also to tell people that they are not alone in this and we are all in this together. So, Gaurav, how are you doing, Gaurav?
Hi Manisha. First of all, even thank you for inviting me. Giving me the opportunity to help in any such a little way, even if it's like bringing a little hope to someone who's might be feeling sad or tensed right now. So, however, in any way I can help, I mean, I'm happy to.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Gaurav, coming to the part of COVID, as you know, it's been 14 months, Gaurav. People are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
All the people out there who are going through some or the other thing. COVID has not left the riches, it has not left the people on the road, middle class, lower
Mm-hmm.
class, nobody out there. As you know, everybody is affected, Gaurav. What do you think, or do you miss that life which was before COVID? Can you please tell us how was your life before COVID a few months back?
You see, a life before COVID, I mean, I'm no different. Sabke liye, it was like an unimaginable thing. Everyone was going about with their normal lives, going to office. हंस खेल रहे, taking for granted each and every tiny little small thing that we miss right now, like बाहर सड़क पे रुककर पानी पूरी खा रहे, या whatever, meeting your friends and going about. So it was like unimaginable that life would be any different, or at least not this drastically different in the coming few months. Just like if you talk about last year 2020 January or February, so we were just so oblivion of corona ke kahan China mein kuch ho raha hai, and we didn't even, honestly, at least I didn't even bother following up too much on that news. So I was like completely कि ठीक है वहाँ चल रहा है, it's in a different part of the world, and I carried on with my normal life, taking all of this for granted. So a pretty basic life, normal job, normal household, so nothing out of the usual, you see. But then COVID happened, and I don't need to say it, everything like changed drastically, upside down totally. Not just for me, like for, like you said, millions and millions of people around the world, and especially in India right now.
Right, right. This was absolutely that has happened with a lot of people out there. But out of nowhere, when such kind of a panic comes into our life, of course, there were lives that were shattered. So, Gaurav, what do you think? All of a sudden, when your life changed from going to office 9 to 10 hours, traveling like 1 hour, coming, going, what do you think? All of a sudden, जब आपकी life change हुई, completely work from home हुआ, तो वो
Yeah.
प्रेशर गौरव ऑल ऑफ अ सडन आपने कैसे हैंडल किया? बिकॉज आई एम श्योर देयर आर टारगेट्स, इक्वल टारगेट्स. In fact, there are possibilities where people are expecting a lot
More,
out
yeah.
from your work. So how did you handle that, Gaurav, during COVID?
So personally for me, the change initially, I'll be honest with you, कि बहुत अच्छा लगा था, to be honest, because what happened was कि last year when the work from home started, so the situation, I agree that it was very serious in India, but looking at what the situation is right now, that situation was very normal, not normal, but very less compared to what it is right now. So again, I was in my own bubble कि कहीं और हो रहा है, and I'm safe right now, and it's not too big right now, but still we get the option to work from home. So I was kind of like excited about it. But later on, when the actual thing started, maybe during the end of March or maybe the beginning of April, when India completely went into lockdown, so that's the time when the actual panic started to begin. When I realized that it's not just a little phase which will go away in a couple of months, so you just don't get to enjoy work from home. Now the seriousness of it is like very visible. So that was a bit scary time just in the initial days when everything was locked down. Like, not even me, I'm just like in my 20s, but my father, I have heard my father saying that in his 65 years of life, he has never seen a complete lockdown or a curfew that was happened like it happened last year. Not even a single person on the road, and it was so damn quiet. So that situation, it was so intense that it got you scared. Even if everything was all right, your family is all right, you don't know anyone who has corona, but the look from outside your home or your balcony was so strange that it like gave you the feeling of an apocalypse, post-apocalyptic world, if you allow me. So that's when the intensity of the seriousness, the scare started to catch up with me. फिर उसके बाद maybe after a few weeks, I had one of the most shocking incidences that happened to me was that my right in between of the lockdown, you see, I guess it was 6th April or something, when India was completely on lockdown, 2020, that is. So that's when my mother had a heart attack. So what happened was, at that time, everyone was, honestly, only the big hospitals or a few which had cases and who had a couple of specialty of doctors were taking in COVID patients. But all the other hospitals were quite unaware of what this virus is or how wild it could spread. So the hospitals that, since it was a heart attack, we had to rush my mother to hospital. But when we got down on the road, that's where we found out that we got an ambulance it was no problem getting an ambulance, but we had to struggle and try to convince the hospital to take my mother in, because they were all scared. Just right off the door, they said that we can't really admit because the hospital is full and your patient might have corona, so you may need a corona negative report and all that. So during that time, even the RC-PCR test wasn't that accessible.
Right.
So we naturally didn't have any negative certificate. So we had to roam around, hospital to hospital trying to find a bed for a mom. That was a year ago. So it was quite new for me. I mean, the incident itself, that someone having a heart attack, is like crazy enough. And in the midst of that, if you think that you can't even find a hospital at the right time, you can't help but your mind wonders that you might lose someone. So it was that serious. I mean, I was that scared. I mean, I can't even imagine right now how I passed through that time. But somehow my family was there, so somehow we did. But we had to actually contact a few politicians and kind of reach out to everyone that we could, well known, well connected people, to get a hospital bed who would admit my mother without a COVID negative report. So it was that serious. So
So
we,
that
at least, so again, I feel that I was fortunate enough that everything got into right place, and everything turned out to be fine. But it was so close. I mean, I tell you that maybe a matter of hours or so, if that wouldn't have happened, the situation would have been completely different.
different. But a kind of, a kind of respect and salute to a son like you who was so mind strong at that time, that I understand the entire family was there with you. There were well connected people who
Mhm.
were supporting you as well. But गौरव, एक पर्टिकुलर इंडिविजुअल का जो दिमाग होता है, हमारा खुद का जो एक क्षमता होती
Mhm.
है हैंडल करने की, बिकॉज seeing your own
Exactly.
parent struggling, and you never know what the next hour is going to offer you. You don't know next month, next 1 minute what is going to happen. But then too, you had that much of strength, Gaurav, that you tackled that situation. You made sure that you were around your parents. You made sure that your legs were working. You made sure that your
Mhm.
mind is working. That is what, Gaurav, is commendable, and that is what we youngsters and all the people around there who are scared nowadays, who are panicking, who don't know what is going to happen.
Mhm.
Person is going to go in the hospital, but you cannot guarantee whether that person is going to come alive. The situation is
Exactly.
that bad. But when such people like us who are coming onto the ground and helping our parents, helping our relatives and family members out there, but on the other side, helping our own self to be so strong that be it in any situation that comes your way, you'll be able to handle that. You might cry, you might, you might lose hope 10 n number of times, but on the other side, you make sure that you are there with yourself, your mind is there with
Mhm.
yourself, and that is what matters the most. And I can really feel that in your voice today. So that was really commendable. Great job, Gaurav. Coming to the point where when these situations of COVID were happening, first year you
Mhm.
said it was something related to your mother that you had to fight. Within few
Yeah.
months, Gaurav, it was you that has happened with. How
Yeah.
was your response? Or what was those initial symptoms because of which you were forced to go for a report testing, and then and when you came to know that it's a positive, how was your response?
So right after the what happened with my mother, I mean, maybe around August or September, things started to ease out in India. Like every business started to open, and people are kind of getting back to into the old habits and old life that they were not exactly what it was, but still, even with restriction, there was a lot of things that were open, right? So even like me, I mean, my office was from home. I mean, I was working from home, but other than that, I might have been around outside, to grocery shop or do something, getting out of the house, because the lockdown was so, I mean, intense for everyone, that I'm sure a lot of people just might look for a reason to just get out of their house, and maybe just a walk to the grocery store and get something, right? So that was me. I was doing that. So, but I survived for a long time after that. But towards the end, like in December or so, I was quite sure that if I had, I mean, having read a lot about Corona and what the symptoms were or something, so I was pretty sure that I haven't really had any symptoms during the year 2020. And again, then there were a lot of cases which are asymptomatic. So I always thought to myself that maybe I was an asymptomatic patient, and Corona just passed by me and nothing really happened. So even that was kind of the what do you say, confidence in my head that I already beat Corona. So but that wasn't the case, unfortunately. So one fine day, I mean, not a fine day, but a bad day. In the last week of December, I mean, the first thing that was, I was, how do I tell you? I woke up from my sleep because I was feeling weak. I mean, does that make sense? I mean, I was so tired and my body was so hurting that hurt made me wake up. I just woke up and I was like, whoa, why do I feel so tired and so dehydrated? I mean, it was the first time that I experienced this thing. And right then I was like in the middle of the night. So I just woke up, I had some water and, tried to go back to sleep again. But then I couldn't. But the entire morning, like maybe for the next 20 hours or so, the feeling persisted. I mean, I was so tired. I had fever. I was like beaten down. This was not a regular food. This is not something I had ever experienced before. So right away, I knew that this is something which I haven't really experienced before. And looking at the situation, what's going on in India right now, so it definitely has to be Corona. So I was like 99% sure in my mind, even before I got the
Report.
positive report, that I am Corona positive. So right from that day, I started self-isolating. Since I had that option, I had an extra room in my house where I could totally, completely isolate. So I did that right away from the first day I felt the symptoms. So that day went by. I mean, I didn't really eat anything, just had a few liquids. And I informed my parents via phone only that please don't come near my room, just leave everything outside the door. And I don't feel well. And maybe so I just let that day pass by because I wasn't even wanted. I mean, didn't even have the energy to call someone home and get myself tested. So, but after that, I got myself tested the next day, and the report came the third day. So by the time the report came positive, which I was pretty sure that it would, by the time the report came, I was completely fine and all the symptoms went away. Only the first day was the terrible day, and I guess everything what was to be happened to me happened on the first day itself. So that was I mean, I really consider myself lucky that it wasn't so bad, and even the little bad it was just for one day that I suffered physically. That is. So by the time I got the COVID positive report, the the symptoms had completely washed away. I was like feeling perfectly fine. But still, since I knew that I am positive and the virus stays in your body for a quite long time, so I need to self isolate. So I did that. I mean, I continued that, and I decided that I won't leave my house. I mean, my room for the next 14 days. Made all the arrangement. Asked my family to bring the food and leave it right outside my room. So I was doing that, and I mean, I had everything. I was even working. I had my laptop, so I had my entertainment. But honestly, I'm quite an introvert. So most of my days are like these. Even my weekends, I don't really socialize. So most of my time is spent inside my room watching something, listening to music, or maybe talking to a friend on the phone, right? But doing that, so considering this my behavior, I thought that quarantining would be very simple for me. Like, we see so many memes, right? An introvert, a quarantine for an introvert is like just a regular life. But when it really happened to me that I didn't have the permission to leave the room, and not even see my family, even if we are staying in the same flat. So that really started to take a toll on my mind on the maybe seventh or the eighth day. So I was talking to a lot of people on the phone, but still I was kind of feeling so alone because I didn't really actually talk to someone. I didn't meet someone, or face to face wala scene hua nahi kahi bhi. So that started to take a toll on my mind. Even if physically I had no symptoms, but then I was kind of feeling sad and all. I was kind of looking out for. I was the You might say I'm the last person who would go out to watch a motivational video or maybe a happy movie or something. I was always kind of drawn toward the dark things. But during those days, I actually went out on Netflix and YouTube and started searching for something positive. And so I really understand the use of these videos, because when you actually hear someone sharing their story, or there may be someone like me out there right now looking for a little hope or a little something from someone on the internet. So I was on the other side of the screen one time, so I can really relate to it. So that started to happen on the 8th or the 9th day. And then somehow I continued, survived, and the terrible thing happened on the 14th day, which was the last day of my quarantine. So I am also a patient of chronic pancreatitis. So for people who don't know, it's the disease. Your pancreas kind of swell up and it hurts badly. I mean, I can't really tell you. It's like you are in agony. You can't move. You can't sit. You can't sleep. I mean, it's terrible. Your belly hurts like hell, and you can't eat anything. You can't sleep. So it's very, very bad. I mean, at least for me. I mean, I can't imagine that kind of pain on even in my worst enemy. So that's what happens when you get an attack of a pancreatitis. So right on the 14th day, I don't know what it was. I was having my normal food and everything, taking my regular medications and all. So on the 14th day, in the middle of the night, again, the pancreatic attack happened. I mean, I was in so much pain. I can't really describe. When they say that doctors usually ask on a scale of 1 to 10 how much pain you're in, I was like 10, 10, 10. I mean, I can't tell you how bad my stomach hurts right now. I mean, either give me something or kill me. So that was the mindset I was in on the 14th day. And in that situation, again, the whole thing that I went through on a year ago with my mother happened to me. So it was now me and a couple of my friends. We couldn't even find, I mean, ambulance. We didn't want to because we had a car and we could drive around. So we decided, they took me in my, I mean, I called them, they came to my house. I mean, they took me in the car. I was lying down in the back seat, and we were roaming around entire Pune trying to find a single bed for me, because at this point of time I was COVID positive. So most of the hospital, like, I would say 99% of the hospital beds in Pune were full. There were no beds available. All the patients, like the situation is right now, there's no oxygen. Back then there was no oxygen and there were no beds in the COVID hospitals. So since I was a COVID positive patient, there were a couple of hospitals in Pune that were COVID negative hospitals. But then you need a negative certificate if you want to get admission over there and get your non-COVID diseases treated. So even though I was suffering from something which is not related to COVID, I mean, my pancreatitis had nothing to do with COVID. So, and it was the 14th day of my coronavirus. I mean, since I had tested positive, so there were a high chances that I was no longer corona positive, and I wanted a corona negative treatment. So for people who weren't even suffering from corona, had to suffer because of the biases and the lack of
That's
medical facilities that were there in the city. So that night again was, I mean, we could request. I mean, at that point of time, since no hospital was agreeing to give me a bed, so one of my friends, literally, I mean, they were like almost begging to a hospital to just give me an injection of painkiller, just because they couldn't see me in pain. I mean, so they just decided that if you can't spare a bed, just give him something to deal with his pain right now. At least he could pass the night, and we might get a corona negative report the next day and search for a different hospital. But in the middle of the night, they still kind of struggled hard, very hard. They actually had to physically go to 10 to 15 hospitals, and I was like sitting in the parking lot in the car and waiting, hoping that I would get a bed or at least a painkiller injection at some hospital. But none of them were ready to entertain. But finally one of them did, and they had like, I mean, I won't blame them, but there were no beds in that hospital either. But they somehow kind of arranged they fashioned a bed in on the rooftop of the hospital. And there were a couple of more COVID positive patients in that hospital right now, right next to the bed they had set up for me. So even they weren't very serious cases. I mean, oxygen and all wasn't required for them, but they were just corona positive patients. So I was just laid down on the fashion bed and given a few painkillers just so I could pass the night. But it was just about, say, 6 to 7 hours that I had to spend in the hospital. But the 6 to 7 hours that I saw what a COVID positive hospital situation is with my own eyes, it was so shocking that the staff, I mean, they say that usually, I guess, it's 8 to 10 people max that a nursing staff should cater to. I mean, one nurse should be, even that's more, I guess, 8 to 10 patients. But in that hospital, one nurse or one ward boy was taking care of around 19 to 20 patients. So they were actually working around the clock, and they didn't have enough facilities. Like I said, I was made to lie down on a fashion bed. I mean, it wasn't even a proper bed. So they literally had no facilities, but since people were requesting and they couldn't see what's happening to them, they were just being human and trying to help out. And they were trying to help out anyway, which they could. So again, when you come in this situation, you find both kind of people who would really reject you, I mean, right away, straight off the gate, they will say that they can't really help you. But then there are a few other people who, even in spite of the lack of all the facilities and all, just out of sheer willingness, they are ready to, help you out in whatever way they could. So I was fortunate enough to find a hospital that did that for me. So I kind of went to that hospital, got myself a few painkillers for the 6 hours, and witnessed all the horrible situation that the nursing staff and the doctors are going through. And they suggested me that considering my pancreatitis, that you be here for at least 3 to 4 days, and your pancreas would respond well. But the 6 to 7 hours that I spent in that hospital was enough for me. I mean, I couldn't take more. I mean, I said that I was 14 day since I had tested positive, and I remain in this situation right next to a patient who is COVID positive and who is coughing, and and there's no actual PPE kit or anyone is wearing, or no partition between two beds. So there were high chances that I could contract the virus again. So I decided not to spend another 3 days in that hospital, and I got home. But the pain was like still, like I could say, it was like 20% less than what it was the night before. So again, the entire day, my friends started searching for hospitals, and I started, I got my corona, I mean, RT-PCR test done when I was at home, hoping that since the results take 24 hours to get, so hoping that as soon as I get a negative result, I could, search for a COVID negative hospital. But then the entire day, my friends started searching for hospital. They still couldn't find it. Somehow they did, which was way, way far away in Baner. So again, I was fortunate because there was someone who was ready to go around and look for a hospital for me. And I can't imagine someone who is so helpless that he or she doesn't have someone who could leave everything what they're doing and go out and look for hospital beds for them, or help them in any way. So but I had someone, uh, and they managed to find a hospital, and they took me there. But when I reached there, it so happened that the bed they had reserved for me was already filled up. So again, the nursing staff said that what is happening is, as soon as one patient is discharged, I mean, we have one bed empty. So as soon as that happens, there are like 10 patients waiting right outside our gate to occupy that bed. So
True.
you can't even say someone to, that this bed is booked or someone is coming in 5 minutes. No, there is some five people right outside your gate standing there for a bed. So you can't even think of booking a bed or something. That's like kind of luxury. So that happened. So as soon as I reached to that hospital, the bed that was reserved for me was already taken. So again, the situation that I was in bad pain, and we had been around all day, no hospital was taking me. So we again requested that hospital that we don't even need a bed. So just give whatever medications you can, whatever saline and injections that the procedure they follow, please start doing that wherever you can. So they did that. I was just sitting on a bench in the corridor of a hospital getting treatment for my pancreatitis because there were no beds or hospital or doctors or nurses available there. So any nurses passing by or something, I would have to stop her and get her attention to what treatment is going on, or is it going fine or something. So that was like, first of all, I'm dealing with pain, and then again, such chaos in hospital gave me, like, it was nothing less than a trauma actually. It was so bad. I mean, now that I think back to it, it was very, very scary. So that happened to me. So usually when my pancreatitis attack happens, I usually stay in a hospital for 5 to 6 days. But in these corona times, I hardly stayed in hospital for a day, and the day that I spent in half a day in one hospital and half a day in another hospital gave me a such a uh, true and heartbreaking image of what's happening in the hospitals right now, that I can't even imagine what the people who have lost their lives are going through, seeing such terrible things happen in our country right now.
This was such a roller coaster for you, Gaurav, right from starting the attack that your mother had got. You were already into a jumble of what is going to happen next. You don't know at all. Then after a few months, all of a sudden, it was you who was targeted this time by the universe, we can say, to test like how strong Gaurav is literally after having so much of pressure onto your shoulders, into your mental health as well. There, you were blessed with friends, you were blessed with family members who had to actually pick you up and make sure that those 2 to 3 days back to back, you guys were running from here to there. Just imagine a person who is handling a pancreatic. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't understand this
Yeah,
word. I mean, I can't
pancreatitis.
pronounce. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't pronounce that. But yes, the meaning that I just now came to know about it. This is really, really very sad to know. But on the other side, very proud to know that you are still fighting. But we can see a fresh Gaurav today. We can see a different perspective Gaurav today who has actually seen what pain is, what suffering is. A person like we people, we youngsters who are blessed, we are fortunate enough that we are sitting at home, we are doing work from home, we have this technology out there, but we were taking corona, we were taking so many things out there lightly, and we're not just bothered at times, like how you said, most of the people we were not bothered at all. या ठीक है, हो रहा है दूसरों के साथ हो रहा है, बट हमारे रिलेटिव्स में नजदीक में किसी के साथ नहीं हुआ. बट
हाँ.
जब ये चीज हमारे साथ जब हुई, when we came to know like there is no looking back now, we have to gain that strength and hope within ourselves. So that is what, Gaurav,
True.
your inspiring journey of these few weeks, few months, or this entire year teaches us that do not give up at all. I understand there were friends, and to all the viewers out there who are listening to us and to their journey of Gaurav as well, inspiring journey of Gaurav, we have learned this one thing, that if someone is going through some tough phase, someone is going through really hell out there were his friends who didn't bother whether they'll be affected by corona or no. They were just focused towards today. We have to work towards Gaurav's pain. We have to work towards how we can help him out. You didn't see which area, locality they are going. They were simply running from here to there to just find out that one bed. And guess what? The incidents that has happened with you related to, okay, you rushed back to a particular hospital. The bed was empty. Okay, you were informed that the bed is empty. But when you come to know that that bed is already occupied now, it's no more available.
Mhm.
But then to you stand over there, you plead, you ask them, you request them, you convince them and tell them, you know what, at least give me something, some medication out there which will increase my hope of living, increase my strength that yes, it's just a matter of few
Exactly.
days. And those 14 days, the very well way that you have, explained us what had actually happened. Like few days you were good, few days you were again having that certain kind of anxiety, certain kind of pain, few days again you're good. After the last 13, 14 days, something you had kind of got the attack of pancreas. That was really such a journey, jahan pe, dude, nobody can handle that. People nowadays, I can understand everybody is having their own journey, but this worst situation is a kind of a fight for us. It's an exam test for us. How are we really appearing in this exam of a life? And that is where, Gaurav, you have played a commendable job. You've really helped yourself. You are an inspiration to the friends who have seen you in pain. We today, we are just listening to you. We are imagining as well to a certain extent. But you have actually gone through that. So that is really inspiring for us. And to all the viewers out there, I'm requesting everyone, please, if your near and dear ones are going through some or the other thing, take a stand. I understand there's a risk if you take someone out there to the hospital. I understand there's a huge risk, but do your part. What I'll say is do your part. We at Dream Hunt India, so many of my partners and so many all the trainers out there, we are just trying to make people understand. First of all, try as much as possible, take precautions. Stop doing unnecessary travels out there. It's just a matter of few months. Because in this, what we are doing is we are troubling ourselves, we are troubling our neighbors, we are troubling the entire country out there, knowingly, unknowingly. So the things that we are into our hand is into our hand. We should make sure that we take certain kind of precautions. We are alert, we are aware the situation that whatever is happening, and we take care of ourselves. That's it. But there are unfortunate situations that Gaurav had gone through. He was just going outside for certain kind of grocery stuff, certain kind of responsibility that he has to fulfill. Might be going to the chemist out there, might be buying some subsies or anything out there. But some or the other way, he got affected and he got connected to corona. And that is where, but then too, this person fought back. So कहने का मतलब ये है कि हमेशा जरूरी नहीं है कि हम बहुत ज्यादा घर पे रहेंगे, इसलिए बहुत ज्यादा बग्ड हो जा रहे, बहुत ज्यादा बोर हो जा रहे. छोटी से छोटी हमारी जो गलतियां होती है उसकी वजह से भी हम अफेक्ट होते हैं. प्लीज हेल्प कीजिए जितना हो सके. verbal conversation में help कीजिए जितना ज़्यादा हो सके. Please go with your near and dear ones to the hospital, not in a group, but at least the most responsible people can hold your hands, take them to the hospital, convince the hospital staff out there. Of course, they are having a different kind of journey out there. In our upcoming sessions, we are also going to discuss and invite our doctors, a few doctors and psychiatrists who are really doing a commendable job towards helping people out there. And they too will definitely share their journey. Gaurav has shared his journey as a client, as a patient. We will also listen to journeys which are the real warriors out there who are fighting, who are helping us out, the doctors out there. So Gaurav, we are really very proud to invite you once again. I'm telling you, the last advice, last question that I would like to ask you, Gaurav, so that our viewers should take out from this session is, what is that one advice or the set of advices you would like to give to the viewers who are listening to you?
So all the advices like everyone is giving right now. So maybe I would start with the same, that as far as possible, just stay safe, take all the necessary precautions, and don't go out if you don't really need to, and get vaccinated if whenever you can. I mean, whenever it starts. But apart from all the COVID-19 safe guidelines, I would say that what I did before, what I realized during this couple of maybe 1.5 years is that don't take things for granted. Just like I said before in the beginning, that all the small things that you do, that you meet people, you go outside. I mean, you get to ride your bike or your car, drive your car around the town, and just going outside. I mean, seeing the sunlight was something I craved for when I was in quarantine. So that's what I learned, is that don't really take anything for granted. Even the tiny little things that you seem very uh, trivial right now might be very useful for when you actually miss them.
Very beautifully explained, Gaurav. And on the other side, all the people out there who are affected, or who's someone's personal near and dear ones, relatives, and everybody who ever are affected, do not lose the hope and strength. Like we see in Gaurav's stories, Gaurav's inspiring journey is that he didn't lose hope. Of course, he was scared. Of course, he was nervous. Of course, he was panicking because everywhere there were rejections. But he didn't give hope till the end, and that's why we can see a fresh Gaurav in front of us. So, Gaurav, once again, thank you so much for your journey. We'll share all these details, all these. If there is certain kind of questions that you guys might be having from Gaurav, I'll attach the mail ID, Gaurav, if you could please revert them as a
Sure.
friend, as a hope or a strength advisor out there, because you are a real hero out there. You come into the category of those real people who have gone through the real struggle and fought back and have become absolutely all right. So thank you so much. Take care, everyone. And yes, Gaurav, thank you. And we'll stay in contact. We'll make sure
Thank you
that
so
your
much for having
story
me.
is reaching out to the best of the public. Thank you. Take care.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Take care. You.
Bye.